Hi Jagged doll friends, good to see you again. Today's video is about spats. That's right, spats. What are spats? Spats? Spats. What? Spats? You know, spat, not spat, but spats. You know, like spats. Like spats? You know, spats. The things that go over your ankles and cover your shoes. No, not gaiters. Not gaiters like, not those kind of gaiters. The gaiters that go over your legs. No, not those. That's not what my video is about. My video is about making spats for dolls off of a huge, colossal, gigantic pattern, and I'm gonna shrink it down to fit a doll. That's right. If you wanna know how to do that, watch my video on how to shrink patterns to fit any doll. That will be in the description box under this video, and at the very end of this video, you can click on it. I'm so nice to do that. Anyway, we're gonna make spats for my mom's doll, and this is not gonna be historically correct because my mama don't care. So we're gonna do what my mama wants because mama's happy, everybody's happy, right? Anyway, the last video I made, you didn't watch it? All right, if you didn't watch it, you'll get a chance at the end of this video to watch it because I'll have a link to it there too. At the end of this video on how to shrink a pattern for a doll and all about how I made 11-piece corset for my mom's doll. Let's just go make some spats for my mom's doll, and it's a 60 centimeter, but you can make it for any size. That's right, any size doll. Let's go make some spats. Come on, I don't want to do this without you. I wouldn't have like came up to your house right now and like told you about this if I didn't want you there. So come on, you can do that later. Come on, you can do all of it. All that can wait. It can wait. Come on, let's go do this. Come on, come on.
You're next to space station. We're about to see Santa passing by. Over.
Everybody, here's the pattern that I planned on using. I'm going to make the stats with the ruffles since I have the ruffles on corset, if you guys remember it. Since I have the ruffles, I wanted to use the same ruffles. First thing we want to do is scan it and shrink it, but of course that's another video. Normally I take pattern instructions and this is what I scan, are these. But they were really super small because there are so many of them, so I decided to use the facing section instead. So I scanned these. This is what I've got. I'm going to go ahead and put them on some pattern paper that I have from a different pattern. Most patterns have some extra paper, and anytime you get that extra paper from a pattern like this, I say that transfer these printout ones over to this. I'm just going to trace this, and I'll just cut it out, and I'll do that with all 3 pieces. Ever have trouble when you pull out your pattern pieces? Sometimes they get kind of shoved into your envelope and they're wrinkled and stuff. I can show you how to fix that. You need an ironing board or ironing pad, your paper, some fabric. You need to press your fabric. Get 2 things accomplished at once. Just use your iron and press over it. This little iron doesn't get as hot as a big iron, so you can just press the paper, not worrying about burning it. Anyway, it will get most of the wrinkles out for you and smooth your paper out and make it easier to cut your patterns out. Next, find out what your pattern pieces are. Now, a lot of people like to draw these pattern pieces out, lay the flat piece down on the fabric, and then cut it out. And you can do that. That's totally up to you. This is just the way I've always done it. All the pieces are cut out, and these are pretty easy to figure out what they're for. So I'm going to go ahead and take the pattern pieces off of them. So the first thing we'll do is we're going to do just this, just like this one is. And we're going to stitch these side by side together because the ruffle will go on the top and on the bottom. Bottom and the top. Top and the bottom, bottom and the top. Keep all the pieces together so I don't lose one on the way to the sewing machine, which somehow mysteriously happens, and I don't know how, but it does. I don't want to cut another one out. So 2 sets ready to sew. Be right back. Okay, now I'm going to press all the seams open to be all nice and neat. Nice, neat, and purty. Okay, I've got the pieces sewn together and the seams pressed open, and as you can see, there will be 2 layers so that we have a lining and an outside, and the lace will be sewn on the inside of it, and then it will be turned right side out. And next we're going to be doing a fitting to make sure this fits before we go any further. Okay, it looks like we have a winner and we can proceed on to the next step. So since I didn't cut out a pattern piece to know how long I need this to be, I'm just going to cut a section and cut them all the same length, and then I'm going to do the gather stitch and pull them up and have my gather. Okay, I'll be right back. Here the lace is sewn on one side of the spat. Okay, got the lace sewn to one side of the spat, and then we'll take the other side of the spat, and facing the fabric together, we will stitch them together. And then we will turn it right side out, and the lace will be exposed to the outside then. Pretty cool, huh? No raw edges shown. Gonna look pretty. To make sure that you get the seams together on both sides, the best way to do it is when you pin it. Make sure that your pin goes in one seam of one side and out the seam of the other side. That way they'll be pinned together exactly, so when you sew them, you'll get that perfect seam matchup. Now that the two pieces are sewn together, you can see how the lace fits in between the fabric and it looks really good. Now it's time to add the lace to the bottom of it, stitch that on. And just like we did on the first ruffle, we will sew the right sides of the fabric together. Now I have the sides sewn together, and I'm going to turn it right side out, and now you can see how the lace will look on both ends. It's nice, it's neat. No raw edges are seen. Not bad. Now that I see I didn't catch any of the lace, I can go back, turn it back wrong side out, and then stitch one end down, then turn it back right side out, and it's getting close to being done. Look, is fabric on a stick. Alright, great. Look, they fit. Yay. They look really good. Now it's time to select the buttons that are going to go on the side. First, I want you guys to see how it looks on both sides. Doesn't it look good? And I put an outline seam down it on both ends of it. Got to cut some threads back. Time to choose the buttons. I got all these buttons from Pat's mom. It's a large selection and a lot of fun to go through, so I thought you guys might like to go through them with me and just get some ideas of what different types and colors of buttons will look like. Oh, also I changed the back of the corset. I replaced the cord that I had and used a white ribbon, and I liked it way better. I decide on the little blue buttons, and I end up putting 3 on the side. I liked all the buttons. Do you guys like the buttons? Leave in the comments, tell me which buttons you like the most, or which button do you think would look the best on these spats. Now I am sewing the buttons on by hand, even though my sewing machine has the capability of sewing buttons and buttonholes. Sometimes I just like to sit back, hand stitch some buttons. I kind of enjoy it sometimes. Gives me an excuse to sit and be lazy. The next thing I'm going to do is add the fasteners. And you guys, you're going to be so shocked to find out what kind of fasteners I used. Yep, you're not going to believe this until you see it. And you certainly are not going to be able to guess what kind of fasteners I used. Okay, all 6 buttons are on, and it's really looking cute. I'm really happy with the way it turned out. Now, on with that secret fastener. Now, as you can tell by the way it's sticking to the lace, what I ended up using. Yes, I used Velcro. I know. I talk about how much I hate Velcro, and I do. But I was thinking, you know, it's not near the doll's hair. It should not be that much of a problem, because I tried hook and eyes. They didn't work. They wouldn't close it well enough. I didn't want to spend a lot of time sewing on a bunch of tiny snaps, so I went with Velcro. And then I seen it stuck to the lace and regretted it. But what is done and cannot be undone. Well, it can be. I'm just not going to. I love how they turned out. Stick around and I'm going to show you how to make these without a pattern. To make your own pattern, I start with just regular printing paper. And remember, anytime that you make your own pattern, you have to make alterations. You'll have to clip here and add there, and that's just the way it is. So what I'm going to do here is you can choose. You can cut them up higher to make gaiters or lower to the ankle to make the spats. But I'm just going to take a pencil and I'm going to trace the leg shape just over the top of the foot into the back part of the heel, the way spats are to be made. And I'm going to make sure that they're bigger. But I end up having to cut these out even bigger than what I do here. So remember, always allow yourself a lot more material, make the patterns bigger, because it's easier to cut back than it is to have to redo them and add on. Here's why I cut this pattern piece bigger. I folded it and then I cut it down the middle because it's going to be the side flap. I know, genius, right? Okay. Here are different fabrics that I've got out to try, because actually you can use any fabric you want, but here we're going to try it with felt and pleather. We're going to try different trim. We're going to try different buttons. This is where the fun is. That's right. We're going to have some fun, and we're going to make some cute doll spats. Okay, we have a felt and a pleather pair cut out. Now I'm just trying some different trim, and in the end I decide to use the black with the silver diamond shapes for the pleather and the elastic black lace for the felt. And now we're going to see what they look like when I get them all sewn together. Okay, we're moving right along with these. We have sewn the sides together and the top trim. Just doing one more last fit before I go on, because I don't want to have to make any major changes if I've gotten further on to the sewing. They both look good, so moving on. And okay, people, here's the great reveal. And I gotta admit, I absolutely love how this felt one turned out. It is so stinking cute. Now what I did on the seams is I opened them up and I did an outline on the bottom, just an outline stitch to help keep it stiffer. A little thread there I gotta remove, but I also did Velcro here, black Velcro, black buttons, black elastic lace. I love these. They have that very vintage look, just absolutely adorable. This is full-fledged Hoochie Mama Victorian style. Okay, here on the pleather one, I opened up the seams and sewed them down. I just think it gave it a flatter look, and I also like the outline look that it gave on the front of it. Then instead of adding buttons on the side, I added these little, they're kind of like tacks. Not the greatest idea because they kind of prevented the Velcro from sticking like it should, but it did have an attractive look. One of the things I did learn about using the pleather is that they needed to have been cut out even bigger, because the pleather, even though it stretches, it doesn't stretch naturally by itself. So it came out a little smaller, where the felt one just laid down better and made it look larger so it fit better, but the pleather just kind of shrinks up as you sew it. I'm really happy with the outcome. I do like the felt better than the pleather, but I do like them. I just like the pattern. I like the looks. So now you guys tell me, what do you think? What do you think about making ones with the pattern as opposed to making the ones without the patterns? Do you like both? Do you prefer the other one? Anyway, tell me what you think in the comments. Love to hear from you guys. I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial. Thanks for watching the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. Thanks for being a loyal subscriber. If you're not subscribed now, do a thumbs up, ring the bell, and hit all. And if you want to see how I take all the patterns and shrink them down to make doll patterns, then watch this video up here. That's right, watch this video. It's good. It's educational. You need education. Everybody needs a little education there. Watch that one. Or if you want to watch the video where I show you how I make 11-piece corset, not a historically correct, but a corset nevertheless for my mom's doll, then watch this video down here. Yeah, that one down there. See you next time. Bye.